Health means happiness for me. Peace, inner peace and happiness. Without it, I don't think that any of us can live a healthy lifestyle. I'm Siu Lim. I'm a Pilates instructor of 8 years. I'm a mother of 4 children, and I've been living in Malaysia for about 16 years. So being healthy is, I find, very subjective. Health to everybody is very different. Usually when I have clients that come to me and they say, hey, I want to live a healthier lifestyle, the first question I ask is, what does that mean to you? I actually think that everyone should educate themselves first by trying everything out. Because sometimes we learn through mistakes, we learn through experiences. People do come up to me and go, should I go on the keto diet? Should I go on the low carb diet? Should I go on this? If it makes them discover the fact that eating healthy means just leading a healthy lifestyle, then so be. Because sometimes I could tell you 20,000 times to lead a healthy lifestyle and people might not follow. I find myself talking to myself a lot, in my head. And I always feel that to lead a healthy lifestyle, I always like telling people to educate themselves about anything they're passionate about anything they've always wanted to look into. When they look into, like, for example, diets, into nutrition, into what kind of outdoor activity or indoor activity they're interested in, and they start exploring, I found that they love themselves more. They have more confidence. When they start, hearing outside voices, for example, if they want to go, hey, I want to start yoga, and then they hear outside voices and they're like, no, yoga's not very, it's so boring. I don't want, why do you want to do yoga? It's like for older people. Then the person doesn't want to do it anymore. I say, if you want to do it, go for it. If your instinct says do it, you do it. During the COVID time, I've learned to actually slow things down. It's super fast-paced before, it was here, there. And I discovered that I actually enjoyed staying at home, and I enjoyed working from home, which is, for me, a surprise, because I'm an outdoors person. I always wanted to, I still love doing outdoor stuff, but I like being at home, and I like taking things slower. After the lockdown, I kept telling myself to take things slower, take things a step at a time. And did it happen? No. And I'm pretty sure this happened with a lot of people. During the lockdown, we were all like in our little, bubble, and we were like, we sat there and we thought about life, we thought about goals, we thought about dreams, we had more time to think, we had more time for ourselves. Then life kicks in again and we're back to square one. That actually made me learn a lesson that, not to get back in such a habitual habit. I'm not saying I had a bad habit. I'm just saying that, like, as I got older, I've learned what was more important, which was myself. I've learned about loving myself. I've learned about fulfilling things for myself rather than for others. I actually think that wherever you live really, really affects your lifestyle. I decided to live in the city because I'm a city girl. I love the city. I secretly love the fast-paced lifestyle, even though I'm like, stressed, and even though that everything is like on the go. So I like the fast pace. I like that, and I found happiness in the city, the energy, yeah. And I'm an extrovert too, so.
So my name is Dr. Amer Siddiq. I'm a consultant psychiatrist and have been practicing as a psychiatrist for the last 13 years, as a medical doctor for about 20 years. I'm also the director of the Community Engagement Center of the University of Malaya. Now, mental health itself is defined as a situation where individuals are able to think, behave, and act in certain ways that allows them to maintain or control stress, allows them to reach their full potential, allows them to work productively, and more important, allows them to give back to society. Yes, individuals are unable sometimes to see that people might be struggling with the mental health issues, but they're able to feel, they're able to show, they're able to behave in certain ways that indicate that this individual is not actually feeling all right. The first thing that we need to appreciate that individuals that have compromised mental health will not have good physical health or health in general. The secondly is that we've seen a number of studies that suggest that if your mental health is compromised, Either you have poor mental well-being or you have a frank mental illness. Therefore, your physical health will definitely take a toll as well. I mean, we could give an example. For example, over the last 2.5 years that all of us have been struggling with the pandemic and COVID. Now, if you've never experienced problems with your sleep, if you've never experienced worries, if you've never experienced any level of stress over the last 2.5 years, I have to say that you, for some reason or another, are not in the planet Earth, right? Because everybody globally had experienced a form of emotional uncertainty or difficulties, which is basically mental health issues at that point of time. Now, if you look at that particular situation, reflect back on that particular moment, did you feel all right in your physical health? Yeah, some of us were feeling physically okay, but generally at that point of time, you might have felt that aches and pains that you might have had before a little bit more attenuated, right? So what do? You really need to make sure that your mental well-being is tip-top in order to reduce that risk of physical disabilities that one might face. The whole pandemic itself raised a number of issues in terms of, first, it increased the awareness of mental well-being and mental health issues, because all of us had trouble with stress and sleep, or most of us at least had that trouble. It increased the awareness about financial resources and situations, which I've been advocating quite strongly, that financial health is mental health, because poor financial health really affects health in general, including mental health. It really also pushed the idea that we need a lot more conversation about the awareness on mental health and how do we actually treat it. Now, for individuals who are struggling, like I said, first is to reach out for help and reach it out early. Number two is actually just to be, again, a little bit mindful about the material that's out there, right? That you might be able to read up a little bit about. You're definitely going to be feeling problems with sleep. So all you need to do is Google a little bit. I'm having trouble with sleep. A few things come out. They'll probably give some advice on that. If you feel that the advice is a bit hard to understand, at least at that point of time, seek a professional to get that help, whether it's a counselor, psychologist, or even one of us, so that hopefully you'll be able to address that problem early, and as I mentioned just now, help in terms of your prognosis much better. I often talk about something called a living home, in the sense that it needs to have a fair size for it to be okay for individuals to have a good mental health, right? That suggests that if you have more greenery, it would play well with your mental well-being. We've also seen in terms of research as well, the closeness to access to assistance, whether it's holistic assistance, whether it's health assistance, definitely improves the general mental and the general health of individuals. So yes, in essence, the place that you live does play a part in actually improving your health in general, including your mental health.
Friends, it's time to live life.